Any latest injury news?
How are we doing? Gianluca's done a little bit of training, so we'll see how he is. We'll monitor him. Probably lacking a little bit of match practice and match fitness. That would be my biggest worry. But he's done a bit of training, so hopefully he'll be okay. Who else am I thinking about? Naif is still sort of coming back from illness, which we're trying to get him over. So he's had a few days training, which is helping him. But obviously he'd lost a bit of weight from the World Cup, so we're trying to build him back up.
So certainly for him tomorrow is a bit too soon.
Well, if I can get him involved, I will. I'll make a decision tomorrow. But if you're asking me, is he ready? I don't believe he's quite ready yet. No.
Congratulations, 3 years today.
Thank you.
Since you came here for your second spell.
Yeah.
And a very successful 3 years it's been. When you arrived, you turned things around very quickly. Is that the kind of thing you're going to try and do now with the restart?
Well, I think the idea was when we came in was to try and build the club up again and get us back into a good position. We've certainly done that very quickly, maybe quicker than we all expected. But once you get there, then you want to hang on to it as long as you can. So we took over in not a particularly good position when we came into the job. But I've got to say that the last 2 or 3 years where it's been very good. Actually, it's not easy to be in a job 3 years in the Premier League now. Doesn't sometimes give you that chance. So I'm really pleased I've had the time to work with the players, and I think we've shown what we can do.
The way you've advanced year on year, the performances, challenging for the top four, getting into Europe. Why is it, do you think, at the moment, not going quite so well as it has in previous years?
I think that we've introduced quite a few new players, and we've tried to bed them in from a team which was relatively steady over a few years. So I still see that as being probably the major thing. And also, you can't keep the same team all the time that long. You have to look to move on, and we attempted to do that in the summer as well. So we're giving those players a chance to show exactly what they can do.
There's a survey out today which says that attendances of West Ham, fourth highest in the world in top football, which is some achievement. How important is that crowd, that home crowd, going to be the first game back there for several weeks tomorrow?
Well, the home crowd are vital no matter where you are. You look at the clubs in the Premier League and the support they have. Their home support is huge. So we've had that as well. We've got a stadium which can hold big numbers, over 60,000 now. We've done our best in the last 2 years to get it filled more often than not, and we've got much closer to that than probably it's ever been done before. We've had some incredible nights in the stadium, whether it be in Europe last year or even this year. We've had some great results. And we've had some big wins as well, Premier League wins in the stadium, so that in itself goes to bring more people in. I've been really keen to bring in new young West Ham supporters. I think we've got a lot of good players here where a lot of the young players can look up to. And East End of London's a big West Ham area, so hopefully we can keep driving them, getting them to the stadium. And again, you have to praise the club. They've also made tickets, I think, affordable for a lot of people to get to games, so a lot of credit has to go to the club for that.
How crucial are these games coming up in the month of January against teams around you in the Premier League? Mm-hmm. Because obviously things get a bit harder again in February.
Yeah, well, I think it doesn't matter whether you've got whoever you've got, they're all crucial. Every game in the Premier League really matters because most people are either fighting for Europe, fighting at the bottom of the league, fighting to try and get higher up in their league position. So I think all the games are really important, whether you're playing maybe teams who are not quite as high up in the league or whether you're playing the top teams. I think the competitive nature of the Premier League means that there's no easy games. So from that point of view, every game you get in the Premier League is really tough.
Certainly it's no disgrace given how well Arsenal are doing at the moment to lose at the Emirates. After that game, Declan, the captain, said that West Ham aren't in a relegation battle. I guess there are 8, 9, 10 clubs who could find themselves in a relegation battle. It's that tight in the bottom half of the table, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we've recently been much more used to being at the top half of the league, so we don't enjoy what position we're in. and we recognise that we have to win a few games and get out of it.
There are reports, which I must put to you, that you're under pressure, that the owners are saying you've got to improve, that
Yeah.
Brentford is a win almost,
Yeah.
or potentially lose your job game. Have you heard any of those?
No, not at all. I've got great support from David Sullivan, so at the moment I'd say your sources are not correct.
That one is just what I've read, but clearly wider than mine.
Yeah, I feel so at the moment, but I'm not daft, you know. And are you under pressure? You're always under pressure as a football manager. There's nobody really can go. Maybe one or two, but most of the managers, in some way, if you lose a few games, then you're always going to be under a bit of pressure.
Well, what you've achieved here, though, in those 3 years,
yeah,
you deserve time, don't you?
Well, look, you can say that, but I wouldn't. It's not for me to say that. I think it's for other people to say that. If that's the case, you come in. You've got to come in here and try and raise expectations wherever you go. I think we've done that. We've had some really, really good seasons in the last 2 years. You know, probably done a lot better. So we're just disappointed we've not done as well at the moment. But we plan to do a lot better, and we're working towards that.
I hope you get a nice win to celebrate New Year.
Thank you.
Chris from PLP.
Hi David. How much are these injuries to recent signings impacting what you're trying to achieve here at West Ham?
Well, I think Agard getting injured in the pre-season game was a huge miss for us, because we played the first 4 games of the season with one centre back. I think we also had a problem with Dawson, who had been very important for us the season before. Dawson was out at the start of the season with an injury, with thigh strain. It didn't help. So that sort of impacted a little bit on us as well. But the new players we come in, we'd have liked them a bit earlier, but we're happy to get them. But they still just wasn't quite as early as we'd have liked. But overall, the injuries we had at the start played its part, yeah.
Tomorrow night, Brentford obviously is an exciting match, probably more so for Brentford fans last time they played West Ham. How are you going to go about the game tomorrow evening?
We'll go about the game as the way we have done for a long period. We'll do everything we can to win. We'll try and attack them the best we can. We'll try and defend well when we're put under pressure. So we'll try and do all the things which are required to get a result.
Things are going well at Brentford, especially for Thomas Frank. He signed that new contract
Mhm.
recently. When you get given that new contract as a manager, what kind of thing does that do for your kind of mentality, and what do you think of Thomas Frank's job?
I think Thomas Frank's done a really good job. I think Brentford have done a really good job, because I think they knocked on the door for about 3 years in a row in the playoffs, didn't quite make it. Maybe 2 years, about 2 or 3 years in the playoffs, didn't quite make it, and they've got themselves in the Premier League, and they're doing a really good job. The way they're developing, the way the model they've got is different from many clubs, but it's a good one. And going back to a contract, I think I think what it does is it makes the players realise that the board have got faith in Thomas Frank, and they're going to stick with him. So look, stay on the right path, and I think they're doing an awful lot of good things, Brentford, so they need a lot of credit for that.
Just a couple more from me, if that's okay. Transfer window opens officially on Sunday. Obviously there's probably lots of areas that you're looking to strengthen, but any in particular?
No, we've said recently that we probably don't think we'll be doing an awful lot of business in January, but that could change. But at the moment, I don't see us doing an awful lot of business, no.
At the end of the year, people reflect on their 2022 and set a New Year's resolution. What's your reflections on this year, and what are your hopes for 2023?
Well, I've certainly not set a New Year's resolution yet, but I think there was a lot of 2022 was really good for us. We've probably not started the start of this 2022 as good a form as we'd like, but generally 2022 was very good for us, and we were competing, and we were in big competitions right up to latter stages. So from that point of view, we'd have to be pleased with it.
Okay.
So can I just
Nick
ask one more
Debaters.
question on the transfers, please, Dave? I know you're not going to talk about players and names and things, but when he says not a lot of business, but maybe things could change, would that be if players were to leave and you have to replace them, or if someone became available?
Yeah, I think if players left, then we'd need to replace them, or we'd look to replace them if that was the case. But at the moment, I've not got any indication of that. So we'll see how it goes.
You spoke about Declan before the Arsenal game and the situation with him. Is there any update on that? Have you spoken to him at all?
In what way?
Well, I got the impression tussle, to convince him to stay at West Ham could help him achieve all of his ambitions.
There'll be no chance Declan Rice leaves in this window if that's what you're talking about, no.